of all the books.
Wait, is this technically the end of year one? I feel like it is.
It is.
So welcome to the end of year one.
Darn it.
That's
well,
okay.
next podcast.
Yeah, you can start with that. No
welcome
one will remember.
Welcome to episode 52 of All the Books, the official podcast of the David A. Howe Public Library.
52 in a weekly podcast would mean we've done it.
Yeah.
We've gone through a whole year.
A whole year.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I'm Nick Gunning.
I'm Eric Mickles. Hey,
that's right.
You just introduced yourself before me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You son of a
I know,
gun.
Contractually,
Tricky.
I'm not allowed to do that. So I hope that you'll accept my apology, and I hope your agent also accepts my apology.
Well, I mean, we've done this for a year. I think
Yeah.
the real host has proven themselves over the co-host. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, me too. I also agree.
One rises above
The other.
Yeah, and drags the other along.
Right.
Reluctantly.
Yes.
Grabs him by the hair
on
fins
three,
and brings
we'll both say
I don't think
who we think.
I don't think we
Okay.
should. I don't think we should.
All right.
Wow, a
This
year.
is- yeah.
A
For a
year.
year, this has been a great choice
your
for
go-to spot, yeah.
your go-to spot for book news, author news,
Yeah.
literary events.
Yeah,
Anything that's happening on print, we put to sound. You put into
we sure do.
thoughts.
Or in the case of episode 50, we put it to video.
yeah.
So that was exciting.
You got
We got a good response from that.
Your
video
eyeballs got a
episode.
big helping of me and Nick.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. Hey, you're wearing that same shirt that you wore when we recorded, so now
I am.
people know exactly what you look like. So
Got-
that's
yeah.
great. Your hair's better today, I
Thank
think,
you,
than
yeah.
it was in that video.
Yeah.
But
You know what it was?
What?
Last time,
Yeah.
I had showered the night before.
Okay, that'll
and then
get
went
you.
to bed.
Yeah,
So
pillowhead. I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. Well, episode 52. So
Yeah.
we're gonna travel back. We're gonna go with a Lonely Hearts Book Club.
Yeah.
And we're gonna check in on an old friend.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
check in on an old friend. No spoilers.
yeah.
So just stick with us.
Yeah. Where's our
and we'll get there.
where's our little noisemakers? We
They're
gotta celebrate
here.
a
They're
year.
here in my drawer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You vamp, and I'll get them out.
Okay. So, anyways, we've been doing this every week
That's
for a
the worst
year.
thing I've ever heard. Wait, did you say a year? That's great.
Wait, I think I had the
Congratulations.
blue one.
No, I had the blue one. I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I've seen video proof. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know we got it. All right.
Anyway, these things have been they cost us what? Like
They've
$1?
paid for themselves
Yeah, at this
100
point.
times over.
I was gonna
so
say to do
it's
this every
exciting.
week. It's been pretty rough. We've had to
know.
do like weekends.
Yeah.
We've had to go to
Your
houses.
house, my house.
Yeah.
Weird days.
Yeah.
Several close together.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah, the worst is when we record like the
I know.
next day after.
I know.
So it's
So
like,
pretty
well, what are
exciting.
you still reading, Nick?
We were just STLS Southern Tier Library System, of which the David A. Howe Library is a part of. Thank you. Just featured all the books in their Friday follow-up blog, so you can find that at
Did
stls.org, or we
Yeah.
retweeted it on Twitter. But I think just asked some questions about the show and shined a little spotlight on it, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
You can check it out.
I think
on their
our
website.
party attitude really shone through in the
I think it
interview.
did.
I think it showed that we're not
Yeah.
playing by anybody's rules.
No.
And I mean, even
Mavericks.
the interviewer, like in
We're
it, wrote
Mavericks.
like it was full of smoke and haze, and I
Yeah.
didn't know where I was at the
Yeah.
end, but I knew those two were putting out a great podcast.
Yeah,
it
you're
was
right.
kind of a
That's
Rolling Stone interview.
A direct quote. I
Rolling,
think.
when is Rolling Stone going to interview us?
They're coming. Yeah, they're
Really?
coming shortly.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Should be pretty quick.
Wait, is it
Anyway.
Rolling Stone magazine or Rolling Stones? Because I don't think Mick Jagger can hold a pencil.
No, it's Mick Rolling Stone Jones lives down the road. Yeah.
Oh,
That's just his nickname.
you're right. I've read.
Yeah.
He's got like a pirate
Yeah,
radio kind
right,
of thing
pirate
going
radio.
on. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's get to our bookmark.
Sure,
Let's
Wolfman
talk
Nick.
about bookmark. Let me tell you, I traveled back in time a little bit, and I
That must
listened-
mean you got the help of Brando Sando.
That's right, and the time traveling
Elton.
book.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they took us right back.
Phillips.
Phillips. Yeah. So I looked at what we were doing back then. I got to tell you, I think that the podcast is pretty similar to how it was in the first episode, but it was much slower than the first episode.
Yeah, that's why I
We
had
were
to
just
edit
sort
it
of
all
like-
the time.
I know.
So
We were like the delicious dish people from SNL.
yeah, there was a lot of ums and
Yeah.
uhs and
Yeah.
that
Now
we
you
just
see
cut out,
us.
so nobody. You go back and we don't have any ums
No,
and
we're
uhs. but
perfect.
no.
So it's like we're getting worse because you
yeah,
stopped it.
we're more natural.
Well,
We're-
here's what
this
on
is
our-
us sans makeup.
On our inaugural bookmark, here's what I was reading. I had taken a break from Hearts in Atlantis because I read the first book.
Oh, that was
because
such a
it's like
confusing
3
time
books.
for me.
I know. And then in the car, I was listening to Jack of Spades on audiobook,
Yeah.
and you could not wrap your mind
I
around
couldn't remember if you
Hearts
were
in
reading
Atlantis,
Jack of Hearts,
Jack of
Ace of Spades.
Right. So Hearts in
It's too
Atlantis
much.
was Stephen King, Jack of Spades, of course, George Carol Oates. And I had just started We Were the Mulvaneys in preparation for her visit last year.
Yeah, I guess you
So-
could say our first few months could be the Joyce Carol Oates months.
Yeah, right.
So. Our first year would be the JCO year.
You were reading To Kill a Mockingbird
I never finished
during
it.
this. You didn't finish
No.
it? Wow.
Man, I must have been trying to score some points with our early listeners.
Apparently, yeah. And then you were reading Ruins from Dan Wells' Partial
Oh, yeah.
series.
That was the last one.
Did you like it?
No.
Okay. Well, Anyway.
Only book I liked from Dan Wells, the Partial trilogy, so really was the second one.
Okay.
Which is...
This is a YA series.
Yeah.
Was it 3 books?
Partials... 4? Oh, boy, I can't remember the...
Ruins is the last one.
Yeah, I can't remember the second one. Yeah. We have it in our collection.
Sorry, I know we have the whole set.
Ingots.
Well, I'll tell you what I've been reading. I finished Birds of Prey, The Cruelest Cut.
Wait, was this...
New 52, Birds
Was
of
this
Prey.
a year ago?
No, I'm present now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just got there.
Sure.
The Cruelest Cut. I don't like this new Birds of Prey series. I don't like it. I mean, at this point, I guess it's old, but I'm not a fan. I finished that Bookshot, Let's Play Make Believe, and it was fine.
Okay.
It was a fine, fluffy, quick read, just as promised.
A bookshot to the arm.
I read Swarm War. I finished Swarm War, that Star Wars book. Not good. Just
Book
a
3
disappointing...
of the Dark Nest trilogy?
It could have been one book, and it probably still would have been kind of dull, because I feel like the whole time I'm like, so what's happening again? Didn't really work.
Nice.
I switched now. I finished that. I started...
Fragments. Book
yes,
2 of the Partial
you're
series
right.
is Fragments.
You're right.
I only
That's
really
it.
liked Fragments.
That's it. I'm currently reading Blue Screen by Robert B. Parker. It's the 5th, I believe, in the Sunny Randall series, and it's where she first meets Jesse Stone. So we get into a little world building.
That's cool.
Yeah.
2, Dan Wells has a new book called Blue Screen.
That's crazy.
How did we tie this together?
I don't know. Yes,
All right, take this away
that's
from
perfect.
me.
I know. You can't be trusted. So what about you?
Listeners, I need to be real with you.
Okay.
I've had a very busy 2 weeks, and I know here at All the Books, we have a promise to you that we're constantly going to be reading new things and sharing with you those new things, but this week I failed you, I failed myself, so next week I'm going to...
Just like how Batman failed Superman in life in Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
Same
but
way.
now he's going to
He's
honor him in life.
And honor him in death?
No.
Well,
No, Batman's alive.
Well, I think we can agree that was a terrible book.
That was right.
All right,
I'm
so
nothing
so
like
you're saying
Ben
that
Affleck.
you haven't read anything.
I didn't read a thing.
That's all right.
I can't even say like, but I was busy watching.
You've gone through a whirlwind of turning 30, being 30, no longer being in your 20s, now being 30. So we forgive you. I'll tell you what you can talk a little bit about. Eric saw Suicide Squad.
Boy.
I haven't seen it, but I want to.
Look, a better place. I'm gonna send them to a different podcast.
Okay.
The Weekly Planet. It's a podcast that I listen to a lot. They reviewed Suicide Squad, and Mason, a member, the co-host on that show, gave probably the best reviews. He had some quotes he had in case Warner Brothers was listening. And it was all stuff like DC does it again, asterisk, and then he had that, and then best DCU film, asterisk, and they really everything I said they then said.
Nice.
So I don't know. I feel like if I say it, it sounds like I'm copying them.
I see. Really, they're copying you. That's
It felt like
That's a
that.
bold
Yeah,
statement.
the soundtrack was it was like a bad
statement.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay,
but it was probably the most enjoyable of these DC films so far.
Well, that's
out of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
That is
I
a
probably
low bar.
had more fun, but I don't think I really laughed either.
Huh.
It's just more colorful, maybe.
It's a weird tone. Although the Suicide Squad graphic novels that we have in our collection have been going like gangbusters.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
We've got them all.
Suicide
check them out.
Squad comics are great.
Yeah.
I'd always recommend those.
Yeah.
Or the Task Force X episode of Justice League Unlimited.
You weren't a fan of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
All right, I still want to see it. Along with Ghostbusters and Pete's Dragon.
Ghostbusters is
I wanna
okay.
see those,
I do want to see Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Because I'm an old softie for
all the books field trip
for crying over like magical animals.
Well, so you haven't read much. What are you planning to read? I know one thing you're planning to read: Love May Fail by Matthew Quick.
That's true. I got to read Love May Fail.
Our next book club coming up in September, and Eric's joining me on that. So if you want to have me and Eric together in a room, talk. It's like a live episode of all the books.
Yeah, it is.
So join us for that.
But with pretzels.
Sign up. Yeah, we'll have pretzels. We'll have bottled water.
Sure.
Nothing but the best.
Yeah. Right now, I am reading. I talked about it last week. The Cure for Common Universe about the kid in video. I just wasn't able to pick it up while traveling, and I've just got that. The Neil Gaiman comic you gave me?
Yeah.
Orchid.
Black Orchid. Yeah.
So I got that.
I'm interested to hear what you think about that
and some other stuff.
Someday we'll talk about that.
So
yeah, boy,
I just got to get to it.
Do you just feel like a weight's been lifted now that we don't have that Ben sitting there?
Ben Lehman?
Yeah, Ben Lehman being on the.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good for music and everything.
Yeah.
But yada, yada, right?
Yeah, it does not stop.
And talk. I can't even
Bogarting the mic.
So, yeah, he sure did.
I don't know if you remember this, but he stole my job last week.
Yeah. I mean, it was it was a trying.
All right.
I think. But we're stronger because of it. Now you're back in your rightful place.
Sure.
So.
All right. Wow, we just kind of like vamped for 10 minutes with not a lot of information.
Beautiful.
So
it was great.
Yeah.
We could be like on the 24-hour news cycle. with what we just did.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
No content, but we talked a long time.
Yeah.
Had fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Okay. Man, I wish there was something like fun I could bring to this table, having not read anything.
I wish that every day.
Okay.
Never.
All right. Hey, no, wait.
Okay. All right.
Got an iPod. We're talking about...
Congratulations.
Slightly retro since this is our year anniversary.
Seriously.
I'm still over there getting super excited to get an iPod. No streaming for me.
Happy 2009, my friend.
Yeah, it's great. Click wheel and everything.
I feel like even 2009 was a generous date to throw at
right?
you. That being said, I would take a huge iPod.
Right?
I mean, I would put tons of
music
music
You're
on
buying memory cards for your phone to store your music in. Like, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I was trying to back you up, but that's fine.
Okay.
Turn into attack.
I'm sorry.
That's your prerogative.
All right. You know what? Let's just get into book news.
Let's do it.
This has been a long year.
It has.
Let's get past this 50-second episode.
Let's put it in gear.
Get into next year.
Nothing will get us going quicker than an Amish romance, and that's what we've got coming from new in large print coming down the road here. A Simple Vow by Charlotte Hubbard. Housed in a rustic red barn, the Simple Gifts craft shop celebrates the talents of the Amish of Willow Ridge and the faith that inspires them, for the acceptance of simplicity opens the path to love. So if you're an Amish, I believe this is an Amish, this is September, I think. This is in advance notice. If you're an Amish fan, and obviously, I mean, this is big business.
Yeah.
These Amish fiction books are so popular.
Yeah, especially with the Amish.
Variety. Yeah, especially with them.
Yeah.
So,
large they actually sell more on ebooks for the Amish.
Really?
Yeah, Kindles are crazy.
I want to tell you that I love the title of this next large print one coming out. Rockabye Bones. A Sarah Booth Delaney mystery.
I don't love that title.
Number 6.
Disagree!
It's fun. It's a fun, terrible title.
Okay.
This is by Carolyn Haynes. This is number 16 in the Sarah Booth Delaney series. Fun little cover. It's a lady with a big, like, Marmaduke-type dog pushing a baby stroller.
I think that's a boxer.
Okay. You're thinking of Rocky. Sarah Booth Delaney and her friends are still recovering from the attack on Scott Hampton's Blues Club in Zinnia, Mississippi, and Sarah Booth herself is still overcoming her grief at ending things with her fiancé. Ooh. One bitterly cold night at her family's ancestral home in Zinnia. Do you have an ancestral home?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called Comic Book Palace. It's located in Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Sarah Booth hears what sounds like a kitten as she passes the front door. She opens the door to find a newborn baby in a basket on her front porch.
Oh, boy.
Bloody footsteps leading up to the door and back down the driveway.
Sounds like a Monday to me.
Ooh, really? That's what your Mondays are like?
Well,
what's
every Monday.
In your life? All right, so that's large print.
Okay.
Standard print.
Yeah.
Iris Johansson. Back at it. This is not an Eve Duncan. This is another series, the Kendra Michaels series, Book 4.
Wait a minute. My wife's name is Kendra.
Kendra Michaels? Wow, that's really close.
It's Kendra
that
Michaels.
Is weird close.
Which means, I used to call myself Eric Michaels.
Let me ask you this. Was she born blind, and did she spend the first 20 years of her life in the darkness?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She was born. Okay.
Yeah.
This might be about her. Number 1 New York Times bestselling author and Edgar Award-winning author, that's twice, are back with a new... What the heck? I'm going to read this exactly as written, okay? The number 1 New York Times bestselling author and the Edgar Award-winning author are back with a new novel featuring Kendra Michaels, hired gun for both the CIA and the FBI.
Huh.
Oddly written. So, born blind, Kendra Michaels spent the first 20 years of her life living in the darkness.
Singing.
Yeah. Thanks to a revolutionary medical procedure developed by England's Night Watch project. Sounds creepy.
All right, yeah.
She was given the gift of sight. Her highly
You know
developed
what? She has
senses,
mentioned that to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Her highly developed senses, honed during her years in the dark, combined with her newfound vision, have made her a remarkable investigator, sought after by law enforcement agencies all over the country, but her newest case finds her uncovering a deadly truth about the shadowy organization that has given her so much.
So, she's basically Daredevil, but she can see.
Or Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. That's pretty much the same thing there.
All right.
Oh, and last year we always were talking about Joyce Carol Oates because she was coming. This year, we're talking about Alexander McCall Smith because he's coming.
Yeah.
He's got, people are going to be excited about this, a new entry in the number 1 Ladies Detective Agency.
Okay.
Up to book 17. This is called Precious and Grace. A delightful 17th installment of the ever-popular, perennially best-selling number 1 New York... Number 1 Ladies Detective Agency series, Precious Ramatswe, Botswana's premier lady detective, is a little short on help. The co-director of the agency, Grace Makutsi, is busy with her own case. Her client, none other than their erstwhile assistant, Mr. Polipetsi, who has unwittingly involved himself in a pyramid scheme. So fans of the number 1 Ladies Detective Agency, this is coming out October 11th, and we'll have the man himself October 20th.
Oh my
gosh. You can snatch a copy of this book.
Get it signed.
Get it signed.
Yeah.
And chat with Alexander McCall Smith. So details on that will be coming as we get closer.
All chats with Alexander McCall Smith are subject to removal.
Details will be coming as we get closer, but that is happening October 20th. So mark your calendars. Tell your friends. Yeah. Not finally. 12 Days of Christmas by Debbie McCumber.
Oh, Debbie McCumber. Give Christmas a break. Just kidding.
So this is coming up. I read last year's Christmas book.
If I had Debbie McCumber money, I would not be here doing a podcast with you, my friend.
No, you wouldn't.
I called you Mind Friend.
I know. I liked it. In a festive annual tradition, #1 New York Times best-selling author Debbie McCumber returns with an original holiday novel full of romance and cheer. This time around, a plucky young woman clashes with a real-life... Can you guess it? Clashes with a real-life...
Humbug. Ebenezer Scrooge.
There you go.
There we go.
Her grouchy, arrogant, annoyingly handsome neighbor. And tries to get even the only way she knows how.
By gift giving.
By killing him with kindness.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Yeah? I think they might hit it off eventually.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to start. I think sparks are going to fly. Yeah. I think it's going to be like, I don't need you coming over here telling me how to celebrate Christmas. And she's going to be all like, well, I don't think you're celebrating Christmas at all. And he's going to be like, well, that's my choice. Slam. And she's going to be like, that man. And then circumstances are going to bring them together, right? And then it's Christmas, you know? Yeah. Christmas trees, Christmas lights.
Two of them I'm going to cry.
And then,
my gosh.
Yeah. And I think that they're going to find that the real present they've been waiting for
is love.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You know what? My heart was a stone before you described that book.
Yeah.
And now it's just, the stone has melted away.
Yeah, as stones do. That's great.
Well, in lava they do.
Like a kidney stone.
Kidney stones melt?
Well, I mean...
That's a terrible experience.
Sorry. Anyway, Debbie McCumber fans, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, 12 Days of Christmas coming to you in October, so you have plenty of time.
Why did you just apologize to our Debbie McCumber fans?
Well, I don't know, because we made light of that book. But it's a light story. It's Christmas. 113 minutes. Coincidentally, it will not take you that long to read the newest James Patterson book. It's a book shot. James Patterson's Book Shots. Short.
When's this come out?
Fast-paced. High-impact entertainment.
Oh, my gosh.
Coming out September 6th. I Know Who Killed My Son. Molly Rourke's son.
Your advance notices are getting awfully close to my book news.
These Jimmy P. book shots, you gotta be on it. They come too quickly, man. Molly Rourke's son has been murdered, and she knows who's responsible. Now she's taking the law into her own hands. Never underestimate a mother's love.
Sure.
So that's coming out from James Patterson.
You also shouldn't overestimate a mother's love,
You probably shouldn't, no. James Patterson and Max DeLallo.
That's
coming out. So that's all I got. So it's up to you now, buddy. What's coming out next week?
All right.
This week.
Man, I wanted to tell you about this book idea I had, but we're like 3 books past it now. You just read that book news way too fast.
I'm sorry.
So maybe next time.
Okay.
This is the part where you say, no, man.
Oh, okay. No, sorry. We're rusty.
All right.
Hey.
You know what? No, I'll bring it up next time.
Fans want to know.
No.
Okay.
The idea is,
a
man is born blind.
What?
But he wants to be a photographer.
Oh my gosh.
We call it the Beethoven photographer.
Okay.
Right?
I guess.
And he becomes like the greatest photographer ever known.
Beethoven wasn't born blind.
No, he was deaf, but he still composed music.
He was born deaf.
No, well,
I think he went deaf.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the point is, all right, he wasn't born blind then. He became blind. But he still wants to be a photographer. Okay. Beethoven.
So he uses his memories of things to influence his...
Also his sense of touch. He has to feel a face and make that face just like that.
Okay.
So...
That's the plot to the Val Kilmer movie, At First Sight.
Is it really?
No, he's...
Darn it, Val Kilmer.
He's blind, and then he gets unblind. And then he goes back to being blind, but then becomes a painter and paints the things he remembers. Val Kilmer, Mira Sorvino. Man, I had that on the tip of my tongue for some reason. You're welcome,
You know what?
Val
Let's
Kilmer.
start with... So Nick just read the advance notices. Those are books that we find out before even our listeners. And then we tell our listeners.
We tell them.
And then they're kind of advanced listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now I'm going to tell you everything that's coming out August 15th and 16th. Mainly August 16th. But the one I'm looking at here is coming out August 15th. And I didn't want to create confusion.
I understand.
Speaking of James Patterson. James Patterson has a book called Triple Threat. Now, this is ridiculous. Okay? James Patterson and Max DeLallo.
Yeah, that's what, 113 minutes.
This is a collection of 3 book shots.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
It's called a triple heart thriller.
Wow.
Yep. So you got Crosskill, Zoo 2, and The Pretender.
Wow.
All in one book.
That is crazy.
Novels you can devour in a few hours, impossible to stop reading. So basically, he's written 3 short stories, and then this guy's insane.
And wow.
Yeah, this guy sleeps on a bed of money. James Patterson.
That is bananas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow. Okay. Yeah. What else?
And
what
we
else
as a library have gotten the book shots. Now you got to get the collection of book shots.
No.
So way to go, James Patterson.
He's outdone himself.
He's basically discovered the new bottled water.
Yeah, seriously.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's crazy.
And it's just a hose out of his back of his house.
Yeah. That he's not. It's somebody else's water at this point.
Somebody's out there.
Hey, Max, let me borrow your hose for a second.
He's turning a faucet, and high-octane thrillers are just dripping out into a bucket. Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. Hashtag bookshots.
Yeah. So, I've been hashtagging bookshots on these podcasts for a while because they're just so topical.
We're going to make them pop.
Yeah. All right, what do we got coming out on August 16th? Any Minute Now by Eric Van Lustbander. Is this guy somebody?
Eric Van Lustbander took over the Bourne series
That's
from
who it
Robert
is, yeah.
Ludlum.
I thought that was Jeremy Renner.
No, he took it over from Matt Damon, and then it was snatched away from him.
That's true. Okay.
For the dullest movie ever made. No, it's not. Well,
watching what was it just called? Jason Bourne. Watching Jason Bourne made me realize I just wanted to watch the original Bourne trilogy and not Jason Bourne.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this was great in Bourne Ultimatum. This was great in Bourne Supremacy.
Jason Bourne, the movie, was essentially a Jason Bourne screensaver.
Yeah.
I think just put that.
There's a Jason Bourne bookshot.
Yeah, it was.
There you go.
It was. No discernible dialogue.
Yeah.
A lot of quick walking.
Yeah. There's a lot of quick. And what's his name? Tommy Lee Jones. His face.
Yeah, seriously.
He is an old man.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah. It looks like somebody Humpty Dumpty Tommy Lee Jones. Like he fell off something.
Yeah.
They scrambled to put him back together, and they were like, he's not really fixed, but push him on screen.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
Invasive by Chuck Wendig. Now, he wrote the Star Wars book, right?
Yeah.
The Aftermath.
The one that everyone hated.
They call this Michael Crichton meets Elon Musk in the gripping sci-fi tech thriller set in the eye-opening paranoid world of the electrifying Zeros.
I feel like anytime there's a tech thriller, they say it's Michael.
Yeah, Michael Crichton. We've got Sting by Sandra Brown.
Every little thing he does is magic.
Yeah, this is an autobiography written by Sandra Brown about Sting. So I think it's about how Sting has stung her life. So,
okay.
If you weren't looking at your phone, you would have died laughing
at
that description. No, forget it.
It's too late. I just got an email about Alexander McCall Smith.
What? From Alexander
Not
himself?
from him himself, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, what else?
All right, Sting by Sandra Brown.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Well, she's a big name.
She is.
She's a very popular author.
Sure was.
Curious Minds, it's a Night and Moon novel by Janet Ivanovich and Fief Sutton. The name Fief is Phoef.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Maybe it's Fulf. We couldn't decide.
Fulf, yeah. Fulf Sutton. So.
Oh, Friff.
Yeah.
You card.
So, how many books are in this Night and Moon novel? Night spelt with a K-N, I should say.
I don't know. I think not
This says book 1.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, there we go.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it when it was an advance notice.
All right, well, new series by Janet Ivanovich.
Hey.
Lady Can Do No Wrong.
That's right.
Even that movie is pretty popular here. What is it called? One for the Money?
One for the Money, yeah.
Yeah. Catherine Heigl, however, she can do some wrong.
She does.
So what was that show she was in that nobody watched?
State of Affairs, I think.
Yeah.
She's coming back in a new show, too. People don't learn their lesson.
Yeah. Lisa Scott-Line.
Izzy.
Oh, Scott-O-Line.
Yeah.
What'd you call her?
Izzy.
You call Lisa Scott-O-Line Izzy?
I was still lamenting the career of Katherine Heigl.
Oh.
By referring to her as her Grey's Anatomy character.
Oh, is that what she was on?
Yeah, she was on Grey's Anatomy and then went off to do like Knocked Up and stuff.
Yeah. So, all right. Lisa Scott-Line, otherwise known as Izzy.
No.
To Nick.
No, Katherine Heigl.
Damaged, a novel. A Rossetto and Denuzio novel.
Okay.
So, I would just call something like a Stephen Craig novel.
A Stephen Craig novel?
Yeah.
I would read it.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, what do you want to do today? I don't know, Craig. Cheese pizza, I guess?
All right.
Dare we?
One boy, one
Craig
lawyer,
novel.
one chance for justice, one book, one author, one time, when there's one need in the night.
Wow.
I made a lot of that up.
That was great, though. It was really powerful.
The one need in the night is actually a lyric from One by U2.
Probably worth mentioning that this is written by only one author. I think it's probably
that's true. At this point,
the only book on the list that is. So, congratulations, Lisa.
Yeah.
Putting in the time.
The Last Days of Night. A lot of night titles here.
Yeah,
this is night spelled with an N-I. Like the time of day.
All right.
Well, the time of night. Oh, boy. I'm going to get off that.
Yeah.
Last Days of Night, a novel by Graham Moore.
Okay.
So, I don't recognize that. Oh, it says it's soon to be a motion picture
really?
starring Eddie Redmayne, Oscar bait
boy.
mastermind,
Eddie
Redmayne.
Star of Jupiter Ascending.
Sure is.
I believe some people refer to Eddie Redmayne as.
It's New York, 1888, gas lamps still flicker in the city streets, but the miracle of electric light is in its infancy. The person who controls that means to turn night into day, and you'll make history and a vast fortune. A young, untested lawyer named Paul Kravitz, fresh out of Columbia Law School, takes a case that seems impossible to win. Paul's client, George Westinghouse, has been sued by Thomas Edison over $1 billion question. Who invented the light bulb and holds the rights to the power of the country?
Scandal.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of descriptions about this.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, he's in the book, too.
He's in the book.
Paul crosses paths with Nikola Tesla, an eccentric, brilliant inventor who may hold the key to defeating Edison.
As played by David Bowie?
Yeah. Well, David Bowie is passed. So... But you're right. He did play Tesla.
That's even more impressive then.
Yeah, you're right.
What else we got?
We got a nonfiction book and a manga. So the nonfiction book is The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo by Amy Schumer.
Oh, I know her.
Amy Schumer. I haven't seen a single thing with Amy Schumer in it.
I think,
that makes me feel dated.
When she was on Last Comic Standing, like when she broke.
Right.
I watched that season of Last Comic Standing, but I didn't see Trainwrecked or any of the other things, so I'm behind the times.
Okay.
Like Nikola Tesla.
Whoa. Amy's got your back. She's in your corner. She's an honest bomb, and she's coming for you. Actress Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I didn't think Tilda Swinton was like a name that you're like, Tilda Swinton recommends this book?
Said that, yeah.
So, she'll be playing David Bowie. Actually, that's a pretty good choice.
Really good casting,
You're welcome, Hollywood. The manga that's coming out August 16th.
You just had two uhs in a row.
I know, I got to cut it
out.
To
highlight what would happen years ago.
Yeah, that would have been right gone.
Right out. It would have been seamless.
I wouldn't have said right gone either.
This whole conversation would be on the cutting room floor.
Yep.
So you're welcome, America.
The cutting room floor is stained in blood.
Yeah. What?
Blood.
Wow.
Stains.
Okay.
So anyway, Tokyo Ghoul, Volume 8. The most popular manga in the world right now. I don't know if that's
true. This is the fourth Fast and Furious movie, I believe. Third?
No, Volume 8. Tokyo Ghoul. Oh, that would be the third, right?
Third, okay.
Yeah, Fast and Furious, Tokyo Ghoul.
That's right there. It's perfect.
Man, you're welcome again, Hollywood.
Yeah,
how many people are just banking on everything we come up with over here?
Yeah.
So, the Tokyo Ghoul mangas are still super popular here in our collection.
What other inventions do you think we could come up with?
Inventions?
Yeah. Because, we're just giving them away. How about this? Rechargeable batteries that are charged by other batteries.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? Yeah. And then when you charge those batteries, you charge the other ones with the charged batteries. So
I'm going to say that at least is equal to the Beethoven photographer.
Probably you're right.
Yeah, so.
We're going to be very rich one of these days.
Somebody's going to have to give us credit.
I think so.
Technically, copyright. All these ideas are copyright.
That's legal. That'll stick. That's legal.
Yeah. We've got this audio proof right here.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway, unless I fail to put it up right away.
Yeah.
But then how'd they listen to
it?
Oh my gosh.
I'm holding today's newspaper, so that proves
Yeah, you're right. But I can't see.
Are we out of these new releases yet? They're killing me.
Yeah, we are. We're in the New York Times bestsellers list for hardcover fiction.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited about this.
Okay. Hold back your excitement because at number 10, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dewar. I didn't read number 11 because that's The Nightingale by Kristen Henna.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Number 9, Dark Carousel by Christine Feehan.
Creepy.
A woman. I said a woman.
I heard.
But that's also...
It's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm having
that's how you say it.
A brain
woman
collapse.
Okay.
A woman falls for a rich bachelor vampire. I'm glad you were drinking the water right there. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Okay. Woo!
Sip, sip, splash, splash.
Sorry.
That's what just happened.
Sorry. Vampire bachelor. Go on.
All right. A rich bachelor vampire. But she also has a separate plan for which he is the bait. This is a Carpathian novel.
Carpathian, yeah. Sure.
What? How
Carpathian?
Do you say? Carpathian novel. Mm-hmm. These books.
Yeah.
They're just like crack cocaine of fantasy romance,
Yeah.
Well
said.
You just read it, you have that quick high, and then you're like, Neil Peart's the greatest drummer ever!
Feehan bookshot.
Yeah. That's true. Oh my gosh. She'd have to call them something else, though.
Yeah, she would.
So I wouldn't know what to call a dark fantasy romance with vampires. Oh, yes. It's got to have bite in there.
Yeah.
A quick bite.
Yeah, that's good.
So, there you go. So, Christine Feehan's Quick Bite. Yeah. Dark Carousel.
I love it.
Number 8, also new this week, Smooth Operator by Stuart Woods and Parnell Hall.
Okay. First of the Teddy Faye spin-off novels.
Yeah. Former CIA agent. He's got to come to aid of a powerful woman. The nation's fate is at stake.
Uh-oh.
So, number 7, The Girls by Emma Cline.
Not Ernest Cline.
No, not Ernest Cline.
Armada. And
right.
Things.
And so this is the girls.
The girls
on the trains.
Okay. Oh, wait, what?
No, just the girls.
Okay.
This is the California teenager drawn into a Mason-like cult.
Manson. You always say Mason.
I always say Mason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, this building's not going to make itself. Better start.
Here in the Mason cult, we really take pride in our work.
Brick followed by brick. That's what we say. A strong foundation leads to a strong roof.
Mason cult.
Okay.
6.
The woman in cabin 10 on the train.
You added the last part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just the woman in cabin 10. This is the travel writer on the cruise. This is the one that you and I don't really understand.
No, I don't get it at all.
She hears a body thrown overboard on a ship, and no one believes her.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like...
I mean, all you hear is splashes, like the waves splashing up against the side. Yeah. It must have been like, this isn't a wave of a body! Help me! What you're hearing cannot be dismissed as normal! Ocean sounds of a body! I'm just a travel writer, but that sure sounded like a body being thrown over.
You're crazy! That sounded nothing like a body!
I don't think so.
That was the sound of the ocean.
I'm pretty sure it was a body!
That's the boat.
Or I'm not a travel writer. All right, 4. Are we at 5 or 4?
Yeah, that was great.
It was, yeah.
That was worth a year.
It was
of painstaking.
That was a year in the making.
Repertoire.
All right. What do we got?
I said repertoire. What did I mean?
I don't know.
The one where we go back and forth.
Repartee.
Yeah. Repertoire is when you're good at something.
Yeah.
So I'm not good at this.
It's like a.
I don't have a.
It's fine.
It's in your repertoire.
Yeah, right.
It's in your group of skills.
Right.
So this back and forth is not in my repertoire.
No.
Okay. Number 5, The Black Widow by Daniel Silva. Oh, man. I want to say Danielle so bad in that.
All right.
Number 4, The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Not what you think. It's actually the girl on the Underground Railroad. Oh, wow. Oh, that's just a Harriet Tubman book, though.
Yeah, I think so.
You're welcome again, Hollywood.
That's a great name.
Anyways, The Underground Railroad is a slave girl heads toward freedom on the network envisioned as a cultural tracks and tunnels. So she's just...
I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Fiction.
Number 3, Truly Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty. You don't like this title.
It sounds like a Hugh Grant movie from the 90s.
Yeah. All right.
I am truly madly guilty. Now he's dancing. He's doing the handlebar dance.
Yeah. Number 2, new this week, Sweet Tomorrows. Speaking of our best friend of the podcast. Sorry, I tried to do anything with that. Debbie McCumber.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were talking about her Christmas books.
If you had Debbie McCumber money, all you would see was just tail lights. Eric would be gone. Spending that McCumber money.
So, Sweet Tomorrows is the journeys of the characters at the Rose Harbor Inn. Mm-hmm. Oh, these journeys come to a close.
Rose Harbor
Inn. It's the last book,
right.
yeah.
Rose Harbor.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just call it the Rose Harbor Inn. Anyways,
know.
Bullseye, number 1. New this week is James Patterson and Michael Ludwig.
And this is a collection of collections of collections.
No, this is just... I think it's Detective Michael Bennett.
This is just made up of things that he uttered while sleeping.
Yeah,
that's it.
Michael Bennett.
Just a stenographer sitting by.
Russian counterpart.
Banana cream pie. Alex Cross.
James Patterson, you maniac! So yeah,
slap his name on it and get it in the bookstore. Stab.
There you go. So yeah, I guess the co-writers are just the people who dictate his dreams.
Yeah, pretty much his fever dreams. Yeah. Sure.
Dictate? Well, that's not right. He's dictating his dreams to them. What are they doing? What do you call the person at a trial?
Like a stenographer.
Yeah, they're the stenographers.
Right. Well, we had the man here.
James Patterson?
No, not him. No, we're ready to move on to our main segment.
Oh,
and
okay.
for that, we need a little bit of musical interlude. So, Ben,
bring it on, Ben.
Lonely Arts Book Club with Nick and Eric.
All right, thanks, Ben.
Boy.
See ya.
Boy.
He stayed here this whole week just to do that bit. Yeah.
All
right, see ya. No, you don't need to add anything.
No,
please. Once you start talking, you don't stop
Roger
talking.
Can show you out.
Yeah, Roger, just show him out.
Please.
Roger, just
give him
get
his
up.
wallet back.
Okay.
Give him his wallet.
No, we
Ben,
know
I'm sorry.
that's his license
Just go.
in the wallet.
Just go.
All right.
Wow. I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Roger, please. Okay.
Yeah.
Awful.
Roger,
Anyway.
again, our senior intern,
Yeah.
and this not like our intern who's been here the longest.
No.
We're part of a senior program where we get he's probably about like 87.
And most of them have been great.
Yeah.
They've been great. Positive attitude.
Yeah.
They have so much life experience. They're ready to be here to contribute.
Not Roger.
We learn more from them than they from us. But Roger is another story entirely.
Sure.
And if we weren't legally obligated
Yeah.
to try to fill his time,
Yeah.
I would report him to the cops because
we're the only ones trying to fill his time, Roger.
Anyway, I think he'd have some gratitude. Anyway,
I think after 87 years he would act professional.
I know. The show started with a Lonely Hearts book club.
That was way back in the year 2015.
Can you even imagine? Wonder what mayonnaise cost then.
It's probably about $2.
$2.50 or so.
Yeah,
I think so. Anyway, we started with the Lonely Hearts book club, and we were brainstorming the podcast. That was the one that, like, I did a display of books that hadn't checked out. We just got to talking about how fun that was.
Yeah.
And that's how we started the show with the Lonely Hearts book club.
Yeah.
So that was like our linchpin.
Our inaugural episode.
So I printed a report. From Workflows, our system, telling us which books we had that had been here around a long time, never been circulated, and the cream of the crop rose to the top.
Yeah.
And we got the name of the first episode. We met a character who's endured in our hearts.
Yeah. I can't wait till you say his name, though.
In our hearts and souls. A man who's got to do his job when he's got to do his job.
Yeah, when he's got to do his job, he's got to do his job.
He's got to do his job. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Robert Campbell's Jimmy Flannery.
Yep, that's right.
Hold your applause till the end of the show, please.
Yeah.
So we opened episode 1 with going through Thinning the Turkey Herd. I have it here. The cover's still atrocious.
Yeah.
Still
If
awful.
you remember, Thinning the Turkey Herd is the turkey herd in this book is a group of models.
A group of models.
That's what you call a group of models in this book. A turkey herd. Look at that turkey herd walking by.
I know. So again, this man won an Edgar Award for the Jimmy Flannery series. Yeah. So what do we know? Nothing.
You think it's an Edgar Award as an Edgar from Men in Black?
Maybe.
The Vincent D'Onofrio alien character who turned out to be a cockroach?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So anyway, in that episode, we talked about some others, and the one that kept coming to the top that we discussed, equally great name. So we had Thinning the Turkey Herd.
Right.
And now we have Hip Deep in Alligators.
Yeah.
I'm not making that up, folks.
No. Oh, boy, that is a bad cover.
Hip Deep in Alligators. Okay.
All right, so our Lonely Heart book is a second. Is this the second?
No, actually, the one we did the first time was not book 1.
Really? Thinning the Turkey Herd wasn't book 1?
No, it wasn't book 1. It's Thinning the Turkey Herd is book 4. The Hip Deep in Alligators is actually book 3.
We're going backwards in time.
We're going backwards, yeah. So Hip Deep in Alligators. Let's start first by describing the cover.
All right,
so here's what we have. We have an alligator.
Sure.
One would assume, with a brick wall behind him, so I'm guessing he's about
He's got his alligator smile.
Yeah, he's going to do stand-up in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's why he's in front of the brick wall.
Sure is.
A little rat climbing
What's
up
the
there.
deal with crocodiles? They're all like, ugh, but we alligators like, ugh, ugh.
Yeah, classic Jimmy. Well, he's got to do his job when he's got to do his job.
That's
and
true.
if that's in the sewers,
fine.
Yeah. So we got that. We got the title in a whimsical font.
What's that on his nose? On the alligator's nose?
He's got a little rat climbing on the wall.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like one of those birds that sit on alligators.
Little rat. And then we have a man's hand. You have a man's hand floating in some green water.
Could be a woman's hand.
We got I'm going to say a Pepsi can. We got a Coke can. So all major companies are represented.
Yeah.
We've got some cigarette butts. We have what looks like a coffee cup, I want to say.
Oh, is that a coffee cup?
I don't know. Right. It's hard to say.
With all my glasses, it looks like a black poker chip.
So, again, this is not good. Yeah. The illustrations style looks like it's a kid's book.
A little bit, you're right,
You know what I mean? It's like...
Hip deep in alligators.
It's green heavy.
Jimmy couldn't get away from the alligators.
Initial cover price.
Oh, wait, Jimmy Flanagan. Huh.
Yeah, Jimmy Flannery. It's a Jimmy Flannery mystery.
I keep saying Flanagan.
I know you do. Original cover price, $16.95 in the U.S., $23.95 in Canada. So.
Wow. What's a cup of coffee cost in Canada?
Who knows? This book
probably whatever you're willing to pay.
In 1987, and we've had it since that time.
1987 and it was $16?
I know.
That's crazy.
Big business.
You could have bought a...
Look how thin it is, too. It's
a Corolla.
All right, so let's
discuss
that's Jimmy Flannery's Hip Deep in Alligator. So to begin with, I'm going to read you the intro. The inside cover.
The summary. He meant the summary, folks.
Lots of strange things get washed up into Chicago's sewers, and even tough Irishman Jimmy Flannery feels jumpy when he's sent to inspect the old underground tunnels for the city. He keeps thinking of those stories about kids flushing down the John baby alligators that grow up into great big man-eating monsters alive down there in the dark, and it sure doesn't calm Flannery's nerves when he stumbles onto a body, or rather, two halves of a body.
Ugh.
Now, reporting the corpse to the cops would have been the end of the incident for anybody else but Jimmy Flannery, his Democratic precinct captain of the Windy City's 27th Ward, and he doesn't turn his back on trouble on his turf. He tracks it down. He's got to do his job when he's got to do his job.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't matter, you know. Yeah. And when he finds out that the dead man really had been chewed in half by a huge crocodile, but a type that would live only in the tropics, he knows this trouble has murder written all over it.
Did you just say crocodile?
Yeah, he did say crocodile.
That's confusing.
That's not.
Crocodiles are different than alligators.
Totally
otherwise the stand-up just falls apart.
It doesn't even make sense.
So also, I know you're not supposed to smile at a crocodile, but what are you supposed to not do with that alligator?
I don't know. You'd not be hip deep in him, I'll tell you that.
That's true.
But while Flannery goes fishing around for... I get what he did there. Fishing around for a killer and a croc. So I guess hip deep in crocodiles would have been just as good as hip deep in alligators.
So I know, because the thing is, alligators in the sewers, but maybe it's an actual crocodile.
Right.
I mean, you might as well just stick with an alligator.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I
mean, they're both scary.
Some of his neighbors are having a problem with pigeons. A beautiful Haitian, a beautiful Haitian illegal immigrant, along with a flock of other bird owners, wants him to find out who's snatching their prized powders. And before long, Flannery's snooping is getting him knee-deep in guano and over his head in danger. For at the bottom, I don't know why
did this just become a different
guano.
book?
For at the bottom of this smelly situation is the stink of political corruption.
Hold on.
And big-time crime. And there is something rotten in Chicago, and whether the decay is spreading from downtown in City Hall or underground in the sewers, Jimmy Flannery uses all his street smarts and exploits all his power connections, to say nothing of risking his life, to find out the who, what, and why of so fishy a murder.
What the heck? That's like 8 different books.
It's a lot. You know what? I'm going to say that this is worse than Thinning the Turkey.
When you started reading the bird stuff, of like, oh, this must be multiple books in one.
No, it's not. It's all the same thing.
Why don't they just call it Hip Deep in Guano?
I don't know.
Guano is bats.
I know. I mean, and then we discussed Jimmy Flannery before, and it's the same
He is an angry man.
It's the same picture we saw last year. Yeah. It's like a John Voight if he was a heavy smoker.
You're right. Yeah, John Voight, after years of being in, like, the Senate.
You described him as someone who would have grounds. You would go on his grounds.
That's true.
That is true with his lambskin coat.
Is that what I said a year ago?
That's what you said.
I'm so funny.
I know. Yeah, it was witty.
He does look like somebody who owns the grounds.
Witty. I know.
Off my grounds.
It was good. It was good. You also said that he looked like the Republican nominee for president, and he does sort of have Trump hair.
You're right.
So I was a little prescient, and I'm impressed. So
I'm really good at describing authors.
You're great at it. Let me tell you some of the critical acclaim from past books. Okay.
Okay, so these are for the other.
This is for The Junkyard Dog, book 1 in the Jimmy Flannery series.
Okay.
Written in an appealing argot, this mystery has full characters, a satisfying ending, and a nice balance of hard-boiled action and romantic tenderness. That's Publishers Weekly.
Okay.
From the 600-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
Chicago is a better place because of Jimmy Flannery, a precinct captain in the 27th Ward. He is in politics to help his neighbors and a novel idea in the here and now. Daily News. That's fine.
Well, Thinning the Turkey Herd came after this. Yeah. So we've got a little review for Hip Deep in Alligators.
Oh my gosh. Tell me what we got.
By Newsday.
Okay.
What's an alligator doing in the Chicago sewer system?
Well, again, it's a crocodile.
Yeah. So the book is delightfully large because Campbell's invention never fails him. He piles the absurd on the grotesque and makes it work.
Yeah. It does seem absurd and grotesque. Okay, well, let's...
So is it an alligator or a crocodile? This is the problem.
I don't know. I mean, to
maybe
say that's the problem is an understatement.
Maybe...
all right, so this cover, does this do anything for you?
I mean,
I'm less interested than the Thinning the Turkey Herd.
I'm probably more interested.
Really?
Yeah, this
Turkey Herd at least has like a style to it.
It has like a film noir, but...
Yeah, it's a bad style, but it's got...
I guess because Hip Deep in Alligators cover is a lot more colorful.
Okay, you're right.
The green is more eye-catching, and maybe not for the best, but you know.
All right, so
Sorry, man. I got to disagree with you a year in.
I respect. Chapter 1. For Liz. This is for Liz. Not our Liz. Not Liz who works here at the library.
Right.
Robert Campbell's Liz.
Lisa Scottaline.
Chapter 1. My name is Jimmy Flannery. Okay.
Sure is.
3 books in, we should know. But My name is Jimmy Flannery. Maybe you remember I had a little trouble last winter over a gorilla named Baby who's supposed to have killed 2 gay men, but didn't.
Okay.
I don't remember that, but that's probably...
That's how I know you,
of
course.
That's probably from 600-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
And then there's this Janet Canarius, who ain't supposed to win the race for alderman in the 27th, but does. Then there's Chips Devlin, an old elephant with sore feet who offers to name me warlord, which is not the same thing as alderman of the 27th Ward when he retires, but changes his mind so he can send me back down into the sewers. I should learn a lesson for standing up to the bosses. What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds good to you. Okay. I could tell you the whole story again, but if I do, it'll only make me weep. Suffice it to say that Mary Ellen Dunn, the lady what lives with me in my flat in a 6 family on Polk Street, and my old man Mike stick by me through thick and thin. Now that I'm wading through the bleep, it's more like they're sticking with me through thick.
Sure.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross. That's about thick turds he's talking about there. I I don't know.
These books do nothing for me.
No, I know. That's because I guess that was sort of a rehash of the second book.
Yeah.
So maybe, like, if you'd read it, I don't know why you'd need that. If you hadn't read it, that didn't give you any
Maybe
information.
you loved the second one so much, and you're like, no way, this third book can... and so you start on a high note.
I don't feel like this is going to win me over. Let me find some dialogue. Okay. So we're gonna go over to the morgue. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Francis O'Shea and Murray Rourke are detectives from Homicide.
Right.
Now we're down in the morgue. Okay. Look who's here, O'Shea says. I see you've been fishing again. Thank you for what you brung us. Your hemorrhoids acting up again? I says. Again, that I says.
Yeah.
Keep my piles out of it, Flannery. I wish you two... It is
piles? Is that what he calls a hemorrhoid?
I guess so. If he's got piles of hemorrhoids, he needs to call the cops and get an ambulance down there stat. I wish you two would get married and stop fighting, Rourke says, and smiles to let us know he's making peace. Sure.
Yeah, good thing he smiled.
What can you tell me, I says. We can't tell you nothing yet, Jimmy, Rourke says. The ME's still inside doing his number. So...
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. Nothing to change.
Not good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who did we cast as this guy?
We talked about some few options. We talked about Alec Baldwin taking a great, second act, reviving the Jimmy Flannery character, and I can still see that.
You don't think he's too old?
For Jimmy? I picture Jimmy old, but I guess he probably isn't. He's probably more like late 30s.
Yeah.
So, I don't really know.
Couldn't tell you.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, Josh Brolin, but he's too old again.
Yeah. Colin Farrell?
Yeah, I could see that.
All right.
I could see that.
Nice.
Is he Irish? Or Scottish?
I think he's Irish.
Is he Irish? Well, perfect. Jimmy Flannery.
There we go.
Colin Farrell is...
Well, he's busy not playing Bullseye in any more movies.
Right. Alternatively, Will Ferrell. Be a different kind of movie,
yeah,
but
it
I
would.
could see it.
Yeah. Will Ferrell.
So, Marky Mark.
Oh, you're just putting that down.
Marky
You're done. The dialogue just can't do it for you.
You want more?
No, I mean... Normally,
I'll give you some more.
No, if it's bad, it's bad.
On the way home, Chapter 12, on the way home I decided to stop at the zoo over to the north side. On the occasion of my association with Baby the gorilla, I got to know the people in the monkey house, also the director, Dr. Bogart. He's a skinny man with white hair and a toothbrush mustache. What does that mean? He's not in his office, which I understand is not unusual, since everybody who works for him says he would rather be outside talking with his creatures than sitting at the desk signing papers.
Hey, you and me both, brother.
What?
I said you and me both.
Yeah. I find him over by the tigers, hunkered down and making funny noises. He looks up at me over his shoulder and says, "You're Jim Flannery." "Yes, I am. Are you talking to that big cat?" I says. "No, I'm just trying to work out a cramp. Who talks to tigers?" "I wondered. People say you can do it." "People are not altogether wrong, but it's more like I say hello and goodbye. I don't hold conversations. What can I do for you?" "You can tell me something about alligators." So we're back to alligators again.
Are these book series like a weird Ace Ventura kind of situation?
I wish that was the case.
He's kind of. He's like an animal cop.
He is kind of like an animal cop.
You said manimal. Manimal cop.
Jimmy Flannery, manimal cop. I've never gotten like that quote. I've got to do my job, and I've got to do my job.
Yeah.
It's just always stood with me.
Well, I
feel like it just sums up these books.
A lot of times I got to do my job when I got to do my job too, and it's a pain in the butt, but I got to do it because I got to do my job.
I got to respect that. Well, if you, I gotta say, at an update from Thinning the Turkey Herd, I checked our stacks. In the year since we put the spotlight on Thinning the Turkey Herd, it has gotten little to no attention. No one has checked it out. Even after all the talk we've given it, even though we talked it down, I thought maybe some curious looky-loos would be like, they got to be wrong. There's
looky-loos?
But no one. So maybe the same won't be true of Hip Deep and Alligators.
That's true.
Maybe somebody will want to get to the
Remember,
bottom
if you're
of
listening
this.
to this and you're, around the area, but you don't want to come to Wellsville, just have your local library bring it over to you.
Anybody in the STLS system, you can have these copies, hand-touched.
Yeah. And if somehow you're on the sun coast of California, go to your local library and see. Yeah. Maybe they can interlibrary loan it.
Well, we have several of the Jimmy Flannery series all down in the mystery section in our stacks. And I got to tell you,
just waiting for some attention.
Books that haven't circulated in this long probably should be weeded. But I don't have the heart to give them to Jimmy Flannery because he's a friend of the show.
Well, what are we going to do when we get to...
episode 200?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no, not episode 200. That's crazy. We'd be at episode...
104.
104.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's some other things in the Jimmy Flannery series. Book 1, The Junkyard Dog.
Yeah.
Book 2, The 600-Pound Gorilla.
Yeah.
3 and 4, we know, Hip Deep and Alligators, Tending the Turkey Herd. Book 5, The Cat's Meow. Well, that's an okay title.
Yeah. What's a cat doing in the subway?
No, I gave him way too much credit. Book 6, Nibbled to Death by Ducks.
Nibbled to Death by Ducks.
Book 7, The Gift Horse Mouth. Okay, that's a thing.
I hope he doesn't look in there.
Book 8, In a Pig's Eye. Book 9, Sauce for the Goose. Book 10, The Lion's Share. And finally, Book 11, which came out in 1998, Pigeon Pie. Robin Campbell has a couple different
What's a pigeon
series.
pie doing sitting on that windowsill?
I know.
Jimmy Flannery is about to find out.
Robin Campbell has the 12-book, well, it's 11, and a collection. Jimmy Flannery series. He's
got collection of book shots?
Yeah. He's got 4 books in the Whistler series. He's got 2 books in the Jake Hatch series. So pretty prolific. So you can check him out if you'd like. And, of course, we have many of his books down in the stack. So thank you for tuning in to another successful edition of the Lonely Hearts Book Club. Yeah. I don't think we won anybody over.
Maybe.
But next time, maybe.
Maybe there's somebody who's like, that sounds so bad, it's got to be good.
I know, yeah. So anyway.
Hollywood, again. They're probably like, of course.
Somebody's going to snap these up.
Those rights have to be cheap as dirt.
I know, they probably do. Yeah, well, they'd be like, you want to take them? Hey, take them.
I said cheap as dirt, but like, dirt is land, and land is pretty expensive to buy.
Even fill dirt, sometimes you got to pay. So, what do you got coming up at the library over the summer reading program?
We're all done with the summer reading program. Yeah. So now we're just holding out until September. Now we're battening down the hatches, if you will, in a submarine.
We are currently reading for the book clubs, The Face of the Stranger by Anne Perry. We're just wrapping up Light and Ruins by Chris Bahalian.
What is a face of a stranger if not a face of a future friend?
You know what? Thank you.
You're welcome.
You really changed that book for me. And then we're going to be starting Love May Fail by Matthew Quick. Matthew Quick, who wrote Silver Linings Playbook. Yeah. This is his latest fiction, adult fiction.
It is his new one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Came out earlier this year. Yeah. So Eric and I are going to dig into that. Eric and I read
Silver Linings Playbook
together in a book club. Yeah. So this will be our second Matthew Quick book club. Yeah. So I'm making my rounds. Next, I got to go back to Rainbow Rowell and do like Carry On, so I can finish all of her books.
What is the book It doing in your knapsack?
Oh, I got it from the book sale.
For yourself?
I don't know. I don't think I could read it.
That's so scary.
I think I'm too chicken. Yeah.
I can't. I'm never going to read it. I'm never going to watch the movie. I'm not going to watch the remake.
No, I'm not going to watch the movie.
Tim Curry was the clown.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is terrifying. You don't even put the makeup on him. I would be terrified of Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Just
like if he walked and he's like, hello there. Yeah, so scary.
No, I wouldn't want that at all.
I would, however, watch McHale's Navy again for some reason with Tom Arnold.
Oh, wow. I've seen the old TV show, but I haven't seen the movie.
The movie, I remember laughing hysterically.
I thought it was Kelsey Grammer.
No, that's Down Periscope.
Yeah, you're right.
And Sergeant Bilko.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
There was a big upswing at that time.
That's true.
So
well, we do
probably around the same time as Leave It to Beaver.
Probably. We've got a couple of movies that we're showing this week. We're showing Turbo at 10:30.
The Snail?
On Wednesday morning, the 17th. That's at 10:30. Thursday, we have our annual Fancy Tea Party this year. It's hosted by the Duke Tea House. So that's going to be a good spread. We went there for afternoon tea, my wife and I and her family. A lot of fun. A lot of good stuff.
You just go out for afternoon tea?
No, but
I think we just learned a lot about Nick's income.
No, my wife had family in town, and so we wanted to do something different. Sure. So we did that, and they put on a great spread for us.
Really After I had my afternoon bath, we went out for tea.
I had my afternoon bath. Yeah. So anyway, they are catering the tea party this year for kids. I think we're pretty much at max capacity. There might be 1 or 2 slots left. After that, we're showing the Disney movie Tangled. That's Thursday the 18th at 2:30, and that's open for everyone.
So now the children's tea party. This is when we get a bunch of kids. Yeah. We go to the harbor. And we rebel against England's taxes upon our tea.
Yep.
All right. So kids,
you're
excited.
Kids love a good rebellion.
Because it's all like colored tea, so the water looks all like colored.
Yeah, it
like
does.
Green and red, mainly brown. A lot of brown.
Yeah, green tea is pretty weak, so I don't think it would change the color. But that's neither here nor there.
Plus, the ocean is kind of green.
It is. Well, next week we're going to be talking Hugo Awards. The lists are the nominations are all up, so we're going to go through those, talk about some past Hugo glories. So, sci-fi fans out there, or anybody who's followed the Hugos or read some Hugos, let us know what you think. Let us know your favorites. Yeah. We've each read a couple.
I know. I told Nick I didn't want to do that episode, but he was like, "I want to talk about the Hugo Awards."
Force Eric to do it.
We're going to talk about them.
Yeah. So we're talking that next week. After that, we'd love to hear some suggestions for. We did have a request to do an audiobook show, so we'll probably do that sometime down the road.
A couple of audiobooks.
Yeah. But we'd love to hear any authors you want us to spotlight, any topics. We did get a question about graphic novels that we'll address next week on Twitter.
A question about graphic novels?
Yeah, graphic novels. Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit.
I'm so prepared.
Next week. We'll also talk about non-sci-fi things, so don't be afraid and tune in. You can find us at All the Book Show on Twitter. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube. What else? iTunes.
Yeah, iTunes.
Rate us on iTunes. Remember, we need those iTunes ratings.
I was going to ask you, we need to start thinking of other author spotlights, because, I mean, we got Alexander McCall Smith, but do you have any? You just talked about Dan Brown.
Yeah, I suggested Dan Brown because the new movie's coming out.
Yeah, I think I'm out a little bit right
You're
now.
Out?
I can't think of anyone who's like coming out or like a movie's coming out.
Okay.
Maybe we should read JoJo Moyes and do a spotlight.
A spotlight on JoJo Moyes, sure.
Believe it or not, my wife is reading a lot of Nicholas Sparks, so she can guest on Nicholas Sparks episode.
Do a special Valentine episode.
Yeah, she'll have to be the one that talks about it, because I don't know.
Have you seen any of the movies?
I've seen Safe Haven.
You
know what? I've seen The Notebook.
Okay, that's two. I've seen Nights in Rodante, and that's the only one.
No, you probably should see one that people think is good.
Probably, yeah.
Does that mean we got to read a Nicholas Sparks book?
Maybe. If we're dedicated.
What if you and I read the same Nicholas Sparks book?
That would be fun.
That would be easier,
That would be delightful. Okay. We are going to be talking about Alexander McCall Smith in the next coming months, so please send us your favorite McCall Smith book or series or whatever you want to talk about, and we'll get that in there. But send us
ready for a big Doctor Strange episode.
That's not going to happen.
We're not going to do a Doctor Strange episode?
I'll do a Doctor Strange episode.
No, there's nothing to do. Okay. I got nothing to talk about.
All right, well, folks, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us for a year.
Yeah.
Thank you for...
Unless you got here late, but we don't dismiss you.
No,
we're glad you're here.
Go back and catch up. So thanks to Ben Lehman again, seriously, for all the music that he's given us over the year.
All our great guests.
And thank you for Robin Campbell for creating the enduring character of Jimmy Flannery, who brings us endless joy.
Did you thank all our guests?
All of our past guests. Who's been on? We've had Michelle LeBois, we've had Eileen Texa, we've had Ursula Gray, we've had my brother Steve a few times, we had Ben Lehman, we had Amy Kuhn. Is that it? So if you want to be a guest on all the books, let us know. Yeah, Katura, our own Katura Cappadonia.
We've had a few other people. Yeah. Sorry if we've forgotten you. It's been a long year.
Good run. Well, we had the cast of Star Spangled Girl, too, and Mike Cox, Sarah
true.
Badger.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we had Lin-Manuel Miranda from Alexander Hamilton.
You want to. You talked about Hamilton so much that it felt like...
That's it. You're right. Sure. Didn't we have Joyce Carol Oates on?
No, but we did hang out with her.
That's true.
So, anyway. All right, folks. We will see you next week for episode 53.